everyone, it's Carissa at Sprinkled with Glitter, and I am here with a card project for you today. Today I'm going to be using the My Pink Stamper That's Pennylicious stamp set to create a cute little card. This is kind of a departure from my normal style, but I'm going to be making a Z-fold card. So what I have started out, I wanted to show you how I created this base. Now, I created a Z-fold card for my Halloween project for My Pink Stamper, and I created it on the card was a portrait card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a landscape Z-fold. So what I have here is an 11 by 4 1/4 piece of crumb cake cardstock, and I am going to score that at 5.5 here. So I just have a scoring board here. So this is my 5.5 mark. So I'm going to score there, and then I'm going to score again at 2 3/4. Now, if you were going to change the dimensions of your card, you would just want to score at half of your entire piece and then half of this. So that just happened to work out to 2 3/4 and 5.5 for me. So what I can do now is set aside the scoring board. And to create the Z-fold, I'm going to simply fold my cardstock like I would a normal card. So you can see here I would have the fold at the top if this was a normal, or at the side. So I would fold that, go ahead and give it a nice crease. And then at this score line here, I'm going to fold this back. So that gives me my Z-fold card. So now I can start decorating. I have some paper here that I've cut down. This is from it's from Lily Bee Design. It's from the Memorandum Tiny Tablet. And I'm going to be using the sentiment that says, "You're my favorite Peep." And I kind of am taking off on the chicken thing. So this pattern here kind of reminded me of like chicken wire. So I'm going to cover the entire card. Now, covering the entire card is not something I normally do, but I think it's fun with these Z-fold cards to cover it and then make a place that's kind of hidden on the inside, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this piece here is cut to 5.5 by 4 1/4, and I'm just going to mount it inside of here and just line it up there. There we go. And then I can just trim off the excess there. And then I have this piece is cut to 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. And if you'll notice that 2 3/4 corresponds with my score line. So I'm going to go ahead and mount that. Okay, so I have my card covered. And I don't bother covering this inside portion because, well, frankly, I just don't. I don't know why. So let's continue on. I have this is the little chick I'm going to be using, or bird. This is from Create a Critter, and it was cut with all its layers at 2.5 inches. And then I sponged the outside of it because my paper is a little distressed. I wanted to distress my bird a little bit also and make it look like a little, I don't know, a little, you know, farm bird. Farm birds would probably be a little dirty. So I have that, and then I have these pieces here. These pieces were cut from the Just Because Cards cartridge, and it's on the radish card. So it's actually the layer for the radish card, and the larger piece is cut at 5 1/4, and this piece is cut at 4 3/4. So what I can do is go ahead and mount those together. And then to add some interest or some detail to this, I am just going to create a red stitched line, because red is kind of my accent color on this card. Okay, so I've gone ahead and stitched around that border. And what I have here is I have this second piece. Now, this ivory piece is cut at the same exact size as this crumb cake piece. And the reason that I have two pieces is because this piece is going to mount on the inside. It allows me a place to write, even though this is a light enough pattern that I could probably write my message on it. This gives me a nice little place that's going to be hid by my front piece to write on. So when the card is completely closed, you won't see the writing as long as I stay on this piece right here. So I'm going to start, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this piece first. I think what I'll do is use some dimensional adhesive to mount that. Now the key to this is that you have to make sure that your adhesive stays on the left side when you're looking at it, and when you flip it over it's going to be the right side. Now luckily this piece has some nice halfway points here for me, these little points, so I can just make sure that my adhesive stays on that side of the point and I'll be good. So, and if you've never seen my videos before, you probably don't know that I overuse adhesive. So I use quite a bit of adhesive, but that's okay. My cards never ever fall apart. So then I can just mount this here in the center. And it's nice to have a grid mat to kind of help guide you sometimes. Okay, so that's mounted on there, and then when I open that up, it will lay flat against that. And then I'm going to take this piece here, and then I will just put regular adhesive on that and then adhere that to the inside of the card. The way I usually do this is I just put my adhesive on, and then I kind of just line it up with this piece here, making sure that it's nice and concealed, and then I just kind of close my card and press it down. And then I have my piece on the inside there to write on. I'm going to bring in this little strip here. This is just some cream cardstock, vanilla cardstock, and I am going to take, I have my You're My Favorite Peep stamp here. If you've never used clear photopolymer stamps, you can just lay it on your mat, just like this, or your work surface, and then just pick it up with your block. And that'll give you a nice straight mount on your block. And I'm just going to use some chocolate chip cards, or chocolate chip ink here, I'm sorry. And I'm going to ink that up really nice. And then I'm going to stamp it on this 1/2 inch piece of vanilla cardstock. I don't want to rock. I want to make sure that I get pressure across the whole stamp, but especially when you're using a larger block and a narrower stamp, you don't want to rock your stamp. You just want to push straight down and then pull straight up, and that will give you a great image. Trim the end a little bit here, and then I'm going to make my little banner edge because I'm totally into banners right now, in case you haven't noticed. And then there's my sentiment for the front of the card. So the reason I wanted to do the sentiment first is because then I can kind of judge where I want everything on this card. So I think it will kind of go across like that. And then I also have a piece of ribbon that I'm going to be using on here, and I think it's going to just overlap here. And I'm going to use glue dots on either end of the ribbon to adhere this to the card. So I just have one there, put one on the opposite end, and I'll start just like right there and push that down, and then I'll wrap it here. So I've tied a little bit of just cream embroidery thread right through my ribbon, and then I'm going to use another glue dot here, and I will just put that right over my seam, right down there. I'm going to attach the sentiment to where it looks like it's actually anchored by the button. So I'll go ahead and just put some regular adhesive right here along the back of that. kind of slide the end underneath there. I think I'll put him on with some dimensionals. Or her. I guess she has a flower on her head, so it's probably not a boy. Okay, I have just one last little embellishment that I'm going to add, and what I have here is just some regular pearls that have adhesive on the back, and I have a Copic marker, and I am just going to take and color this here. And then add that right to the center there. There is my card creation for the November post for the My Pink Stamper design team. You can head over to mypinkstamper.com on Tuesday, November 22nd and see all the projects that the My Pink Stamper design team made. I thank you for watching this video and I hope you have a wonderful day.